Hey guys, welcome to the video. Salt here. Today we're going to be going over the melee weapon, the Sun and Moon. Now in this weapon series, I take a weapon, I build it out, and I test that weapon on its own merits, meaning I don't mix it with any kind of external factors that would increase weapon performance. That would be things like Warframes using abilities, pets putting statuses on enemies, things like that. I just test the weapon built out by itself, and I let the viewers make their own intelligent conclusions about adding those external things. Now the only difference is when I do a melee video, I do add one external, and that is a pet putting statuses on enemies for me, and it's because almost all melee weapons, minus a few, are going to use a mod called Condition Overload. And Condition Overload requires you to be priming for it. And to show off the weapon without Condition Overload functioning properly would be a little bit disingenuous. And so that's why I add that one external. Alright, so the Sun and the Moon was suggested to us by commenter NJW2, and that's why we're doing it today. We have the first commenter of the last video, Form of A7X, and the first commenter of the last video, Skip Street. And if we go over here, we actually have a recent supporter as well, which is LOL Vio. So that's greatly appreciated. I really do. So he also has a question, and I'll get to his question during the gameplay, and maybe some people can help me as well with his question in the comments. So, all right. So the Sun and the Moon, they are dual Nakanas. They're the ones you get from Duviri. They're kind of like the starter weapons that you get from Duviri. Let's go into the build here. As far as interesting and unique things about the Sun and the Moon, there's really not anything that is interesting and unique, weirdly. Most weapons have some interesting and unique things. This one doesn't really. The only thing that I found a little bit unique with it was that the heavy attack is actually quite good. Most of the weapons' heavy attacks in this game are just kind of awkward or weird. Like, they're strong, they do a lot of damage, but they're just always awkward. This one is quite good. It's like a 360 little spin around. I like that. It hits everything around you. So really good heavy attack compared to a lot of melee weapons in the game. As far as everything else, pretty basic. The crit chance base is 20%, which is not bad, but it's not good. The status chance base is 22%. Same thing. It's not bad, but it's also not good. The crit multiplier base, I think it was 2.4. Let me go here real quick. Yeah, 2.4. So the base crit multiplier is good. So it does have a good crit multiplier. But everything else is kind of meh. All right, so let's go over the mods here. So we have Voltaic Strike in the first slot. This is going to be for the 6060 electric. We're using this to activate our arcane that we're using, which is Melee Influence. So on a melee electricity status, 20% chance for elemental melee status effects to apply to enemies within 20 meters for 18 seconds. So Melee Influence is incredibly powerful. It's very hard for weapons to, or for other arcanes to beat out Melee Influence. And in fact, I actually thought Melee Duplicate could possibly beat out Melee Influence, and so I did some testing, and I'll show that testing after we go over the mods. And it didn't. Melee Influence just completely dumpstered Melee Duplicate, unfortunately. So Melee Influence is still king here. Okay, we have Sacrificial Steel for crit chance, Organ Shatter for crit damage, Gladiator Might for critical damage and 120% crit, chance. Condition Overload, this is going to be our flat damage, and we're going to be mixing this with our Pet Primer. Our Pet Primer Dirija is going to be putting 6 to 8 statuses on enemies around us. So, you know, 6 to 8 times 80 is a lot of flat damage. That's a lot of flat damage there. Berserker Fury. This is going to be our attack speed mod that we're using. This is going to give us 70% attack speed. Blood Rush. This is, I think it's either 440 or 480% critical chance. But it's a lot of critical chance when it's fully stacked up. So 440 or 480 critical chance. Same thing with Weeping Wounds is 440 or 480 status chance. The first, I'm not great at math here. The first instance, like the ×1 combo that's not even actually counted on your weapon, doesn't get this, doesn't get affected by this. So, you know, it would be 40 times 12, but it doesn't get affected by the first one. So maybe it's 440 or maybe it's 4080. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. It's probably right on the wiki. I probably should have looked at that. Either way, it's a lot of crit chance and it's a lot of status chance, and that's why we use both of them. All right, in the stance slot, you don't have any other stances. So for dual Nakanas, you just have Mountain's Edge, which is pretty good. It's got like 2 good combos in it that you can spam. I just typically just spam the forward light, and I'll go over the stance also and just show the combos in that stance after this. Okay, in the Tennokai slot, we're going to be using Disciple's Merit. So for Tennokai, there's usually 3 options. There's Disciple's Merit, there's Dreamer's Wrath, and there's Opportunity's Reach. Opportunity's Reach is for weapons that have awkward or bad heavy attacks, or if you need to convert your free Tennokais into heavy slams, then you use Opportunity's Reach. That's not this weapon. So this weapon, you're looking at either Dreamer's Wrath or Disciple's Merit. And how I decide this, if I really like the heavy attack and I want to spam it as much as I possibly can, Disciple's Merit will let you spam it as much as you can. Most weapons, I don't feel that way. Most of the weapons, the heavy attack is good. It's strong. It's stronger than the normal attacks, but it's kind of like slow. It breaks your combo. It breaks your movement. So like, I don't mind using Dreamer's Wrath on most weapons in the game. But on the Sun and Moon, it weirdly actually has a pretty good heavy attack. I really like it. And so I don't mind spamming this thing. So Disciple's Merit is just going to activate your free Tennokais every 4 melee hits instead of randomly. But keep in mind, you could always use Dreamer's Wrath. They're probably very, very close. Dreamer's Wrath is also going to give you more Tennokais than normal, not as much as Disciple's Merit, but the ones you get, you're going to get a little bit more crit damage from them as well. So both are very good, but for this specific weapon, because it has a really nice heavy attack, I think I do want to use Disciple's Merit here. All right, and in the Arcane, we're going to be using Melee Influence. Now, we kind of went over that already. All right, now I want to go over some data that I did between Melee Influence and another mod called Melee Duplicate. So if we look at Melee Duplicate, it's on base critical hits, there's a 100% chance for your attack to strike a second time. So what a base critical hit is a yellow. So it has to be a weapon that produces mostly yellow crits. Not oranges, not reds, not whites. It has to be yellow crits. And looking at the base critical chance of this weapon being 20%, I was kind of able to like get the crit in the Goldilocks zone by just removing Sacrificial Steel. And the crit with like Blood Rush and with like the 120 from Gladiator's Might was about like 120 to 130, which is really like perfect for Melee Duplicate. That's like a perfect crit you want to be at, because that's 100% chance to get yellows and a little bit extra to get an orange, which is nice, but you don't want to go too far into the oranges. With Melee Duplicate, I should say. But so I was like, let me try out Melee Duplicate. Like, it could possibly beat out Influence because this has a lower crit chance. So I'm going to bring up the data that we got here this morning. So this is Sun and Moon. Kill counts for 5-minute runs. Steel Path Void Mott. So it was using Melee Influence plus Sacrificial Steel, just like I showed on the build there. And versus Melee Duplicate, and the only difference on the build is I took off Sacrificial Steel because we're trying to limit the amount of critical chance. We don't want too much critical chance. And instead I replaced it with Primed Fever Strike to turn the electric that we have on there with Voltaic into corrosive. Because you do want some kind of like elemental modifier. And as you see here, Melee Influence still dumpstered Melee Duplicate. So we have Melee Influence in its 3 runs. So one run was 560, then 589, and then we had a low outlier at 478. And that would mean in 3 runs we got a total of 1,627 kills. And then we did those 3 runs again with Melee Duplicate, and we got 336, 366, and 320, which means in 3 runs we got 1,022 kills. So even the low outlier we got with the Melee Influence run was still much higher than the highest run we got with Melee Duplicate. So, yeah, Melee Influence is still king here. It beat it by quite a bit. There's really no contest here. which is unfortunate. You know, I do like variety in the game. I was hoping that maybe another Arcane would beat it that time, just because this weapon had a lower crit chance. So I think that's everything there. I'm going to show off the stance. I'm going to go into the simulacrum real quick. If you don't care about the stance, you could always skip forward. I'm going to have timestamps.
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
And again, this is the only stance you get, so you don't really have to worry about, like, which one is better. It's all the same. Oh my goodness, network not responding. Don't kick me out in the middle of a video. Don't do it. All right, so let's show this thing off. We're going to do the forward light. This is the one I actually just like spamming. It's comfortable. It moves quickly. It's kind of a lot of 360 attacks. I like this one. This is the one I spam most of the time. It's pretty good. It's a lot of 360 attacks. There is some, like, only front attacks towards the end of the combo, but other than that, like, they're all pretty sweeping 360-ish attacks. All right, the neutral light. I don't really like this one too much. It's a little bit too stationary for me, and it ends in, like, a single dude bonk, which I don't really like. We have the forward block. This is another one I like. So you're going to hold block, and you're going to just do the same thing. You're going to walk forward and press E, or hold E. This one's pretty good. It's a lot of sweeping attacks. There's a lot of movement in it. So yeah, this is another one I like. And then the neutral block, which I think is actually the same as the neutral light. Let's see here. Kind of looks the same. It might be the same thing. Yeah, so I like either the forward light or the forward block. I think they're both really good. I'll probably just use the forward light in this, though. Just because you get a little bit more movement. The forward block, you get movement too, but it's a lot of, like, stop and go, stop and go. Like, I can feel myself getting sick from it. Like, you know, forward, stop, forward, stop, forward, stop, forward, stop, forward, stop. Ugh. But, I mean, it's good. It's got good moves, but it's just a lot of stop and go. So, all right, let's go back to the orbiter here. We'll start the gameplay off, show off the sun and moon. Also, I just wanted to show something, too. I don't know if you guys know, because maybe you've never actually put it in your orbiter. And this is going to be like a little bit of a spoiler, so if you guys don't want to hear this, just close your ears or skip forward like a couple minutes. But when you got the little pager, remember when you do the last quest? I don't even know what the hell the quest is called, but it was the very last quest in the game. They give you some kind of pager. You can actually put that pager in your orbiter, and once a week it will start, like, paging you. And you can read it. I didn't read it this week because I was like, I want people to see it. It's actually like a quest thingy. Well, it's not really a quest thingy, but it just, like, gives you, I guess, like, lore or something. It's always something stupid. It's always like, you know remember to take out the trash or something. But just in case you guys haven't done that yet, make sure you go into your decorations and actually put the little pager somewhere in your ship. And then, like, once a week on Monday, or I guess it would probably happen on Sunday night, whenever the reset is for the week, it'll be paging you. So I won't look at it on the stream or on the video. That way you guys can see what it is this week. I don't know what it is this week yet. Like I said, it's always like some, like, one-liner that's kind of stupid. So all right, let's go into the gameplay. Show off sun and moon. Let me just make sure I'm in the right build. I didn't mess with anything weird. I think I'm sacrificial steel. We'll take strike, influence. Cool. Okay, we're going to do Steel Path Mott, 10 minutes. We'll see how this little guy does. It's a cool weapon. It's just unfortunate that it doesn't really get any, like, unique or crazy things. A lot of the weapons in the game, even the old weapons, have, like, at least one weird, unique thing that happens, you know? Not this one.
They have just shut down all systems.
It's a good weapon, though. It's a very good weapon. It's just that it's just weird that it doesn't have, like, a You see that heavy attack? I probably should have showed off the heavy attack. It's a little, it's like a little, like, spin around. I like that. I really like the heavy attack. There's only been, like, I think one other weapon where I really like the heavy attack. I want to say it might have been the Haruto. It ends in a slam. If the Haruto ends in a slam, then it was definitely the Haruto. But I like heavy attacks that are 360s. And most of them are not 360s. Most of them are really just awkward. Oh, so Lol Vio, our supporter, he had a question. He wants to build a Ash, but he wants it to be a traditional melee build. So, like, my Ash that I have is a Bladestorm Ash. I've played Bladestorm Ash, like, forever, for years. I haven't really moved out of Bladestorm Ash, like, ever. And that's why I come with, you know, the question for other people to maybe put their input in. So he's going to he wants a traditional Ash, a melee Ash. He's kind of set on using the Nakana Prime, but maybe there's like some other weapons that we could suggest that might be even better. So, of course, he's probably looking for slashes, right? He's playing Ash. Ash gets more value out of slashes, so he's probably looking for like a slash-heavy weapon. The Nakana Prime is really good. I mean, that is a really slash-heavy weapon, but I think there's some better ones out there, especially with like the Incarnates and stuff. So maybe we'll give him some good suggestions for other ones. Like, I want to say the Hate. I think the Hate not only is high slash, but it just has extremely good stats also. I think it has one, I don't know if it's the highest or tied for the highest crit chance of all the melee weapons. I'm just saying this out of memory. I could be wrong, but it's very close to being like the top crit chance of all the melee weapons. And I'm pretty sure it has very high slash value. So, like, the Hate could be a really good weapon if he wanted to move away from the Nakana. But the Nakana is really good. And then he was interested in a subsume for Ash. Like, you know, what subsume do I use? And me, for Bladestorm Ash, it's like, well, it used to be Silence with Savage Silence as the augment. But now Roar, you actually get more value out of Roar now than Savage Silence. So now even for Bladestorm Ash, Roar is the way to go. But for a melee Ash that isn't using Bladestorm, I want to say Roar still might be the way to go, because Roar is going to do a lot for slash procs. So it still might be Roar. The weapon that I would pick, just like off the top of my head without looking into like crazy stats or anything, would be the Hate with the Incarnate and the Incarnate Hate. But that's if he wants to move away from the Nakana. He might not want to. He might actually just want to use the Nakana, which is fine. It's a really good weapon, and it is slash heavy. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Can we help Lil Vio out any more with that Ash build? And the pet, too. You know, like, what pet would you mix with him? So, with Bladestorm Ash, there is, like, a weird interaction where you have to... I'm pretty sure... I hope I'm right here. Where you have to use Covert Bond to actually make your pet, like, do stuff while you're invisible. But I don't know if it would work for, like, using the regular invisibility, or... Because I get my invisibility off of my Ash through Trickster. So I don't know if Covert would work like with regular invisibility. From his 2 or his 3? I forgot which one gives it invisibility. And he was also like, how do you increase Ash's duration on his invisibility? And that's a good question. It's unfortunately not super easy, because Ash wants other stats. He likes stats. He's not like Loki. You know, you have Ash's invisibility and you have Loki's invisibility, and you would think that, like, oh, they're kind of about the same. It's just that Loki, really all he wants is duration. You can literally just put duration in every slot on your thing, and you have a perfect Loki build. And so you can get a really high invisibility time on Loki. Ash, not so much, because you don't want to put duration on everything. You want strength, you want range, you want a little bit of everything with Ash. Then again, I guess if you're going Roar, you might, and you're not using Blade Storm, you probably don't care about range too much. Maybe. Like I said, my experience with Ashe is mostly Blade Storm Ashe. That's pretty much all I've played with Ashe for years. So I think sometime during the week, I'm going to do a, just like a special video where we'll look into Ashe and building him out for something other than Blade Storm, because I have an Ashe build out right now, but it's focused on Blade Storm. So we'll do like a second Ashe build that is not Blade Storm focused, and it's just more of a traditional melee build that is heavy in slash. Like, we're looking for a heavy slash weapon. Because maybe Roar is not the best option. Roar is amazing for dots, though. Like, it does make dots do a lot more damage. So I'm thinking Roar is probably going to be the best option. But maybe not. Maybe there's some like weird subsume out there that I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head that might actually do better.
Tenno use the keys, but they are mere trespassers. Only I, Thor, know the...
But if he's doing a traditional melee build, I'm pretty sure Arcane Trickster, the Arcane, is only on finishers. Again, I'm doing this out of memory, so I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure Arcane Trickster is only finishers. So I don't think he can get his invisibility through Trickster. So he might have to actually get his invisibility through, like, the regular thingy. And then probably at the end of the week, we'll do a Baruch. Because Baruch is on our to-do list. So we'll have a special video for like a second Ashe build that doesn't use Blade Storm. And then we'll have a full Baruch build video at the end of the week. Probably Friday. Just because Baruch's on my list to do. Baruch's been on my list for a while. I gotta get him done. Gotta get him done and out there for the peeps that want him. I'm gonna be traveling to Peru for a few weeks. For like probably like 2 weeks I'll be in Peru. So the channel might just be a little bit inactive for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And that's going to be in about a week and a half. So in a week and a half, I'll leave for Peru. And then the channel might be a little bit inactive for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. We're going to go to Cusco, me and Pepper. And then a few other places. Ollantay Tambo, I think, is one of the places we're going. I'm really bad with names, probably not pronouncing that correctly. But Ollantay Tambo, Machu Picchu. Gonna do some hiking out there. She's really excited about it. She loves history. So she's been wanting to go there for a long time. So once a year we try to like save up and go on like a little trip. So this year it's Peru. All right, we're at 10 minutes here. 10 minutes. 1,137 kills. That's pretty much in line with our 5-minute counts. 1,138 kills. Alrighty. But yeah, if any Peruvians are watching, I'm gonna be we'll be coming into Lima, and then pretty shortly after, I think we're only gonna be in Lima for like a day or so, and then we're gonna go to Cusco for like a week and a half ish. Peruvian, is that the right way? Is that the right way to say it? I think it is. Sounds good. So that was the Sun and the Moon. It's a good weapon. It's a really good melee weapon. It just doesn't have anything crazy about it. You know, you're not like bending over shooting fireballs out of your butt cheeks like you are with some other weapons. So yeah, I mean, it's good. You get it for free. Although I don't know, correct me in the comments. I don't know if you actually get it on your Warframe for free or you have to like buy it for your Warframe. Let me know. I can't remember that one. So yeah, that was the Sun and Moon. If you guys liked the video, consider giving it a like. If you haven't subbed yet, consider subbing or tell me what I can do to earn your sub. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. All right.